Welcome back to the Jermaine Brown Sports Talk Show. Again, it's Friday, October 25th, 2013. 2013. I want to now talk about the upcoming NBA season, which officially starts Halloween, I believe it is, of next week. Yes, Halloween of next week. Right now, the Miami Heat, is the two-time defending NBA champions. And they're looking to go for a three-peat. And I'm going to say this. They have a good chance of three-peating, of winning another championship if a couple of things occur, which I'll get to in a minute. But you have some interesting storylines this upcoming year. You have Dwight Howard in Houston. And when they play against the Lakers, especially in LA, it's going to be a very interesting talk of the town because he left LA in a very acrimonious fashion. And quite frankly, I don't blame Dwight Howard. Howard never fit LA's culture. I don't think really LA was a good fit for Howard for various reasons I will get to another time. But that's going to be an interesting storyline. Then you have the impending free agencies of LeBron James, Carmelo Anthony, and others. What is interesting about that? Well, first of all, I do think that Carmelo will end up staying in New York. He has a financial incentive to stay in New York. Unless New York just goes to the bad, which I doubt they will. They will be competitive. But what he's doing is he's holding their feet to the fire to see if they're going to do everything they can to try to put a championship team around him. But unfortunately, Amari Stoudemire's contract is really causing the big issue here, which I'll get to also in a minute. But the main topic here and all season long will be LeBron James. Will LeBron James stay in Miami or will he leave? Now, there's some talk of him going to Cleveland. Going back to Cleveland. Yes, there's some talk of him possibly going back to Cleveland. And there's some talk to going to L.A. to play for the Lakers. I'm going to tell you right now, I don't see him going to L.A. to play for the Lakers. First of all, it really makes no sense for him to make such a move. It makes no sense for him to make such a move, even though L.A. will have the money. It just makes no sense for various reasons. Number one, He going to go there and play with who? Okay? Yes, I understand it's Tinseltown. We're talking Hollywood. I get it. But LeBron James stated some years back that one of his goals, or his main goal, is to become the first billionaire athlete to be playing. Well, if he's going to achieve that goal, it will not be in LA. And truthfully, it will not be in Miami. The best way for him to achieve that goal is to go back to Cleveland. But when he goes back to Cleveland, because here's what Cleveland can offer, will most likely offer, or can offer him, that Miami and LA will not offer him. And that is percentage ownership in the team. And it would make sense for Cleveland to do the deal because Cleveland is starving to win again. And they haven't won since LeBron James left town. And this would be a nice, what we call, reunion tour. Or, as they say, the prodigal son comes home type of thing. This would be a chance for LeBron James to kind of fix his image because there is still that image out there that he went and played with Miami to go play with Dwayne Wade. People still kind of look a little down on him, man. So, and he's got his championships, which is great. Because if he didn't, oh boy, would he be catching hell today. But he's got a couple of championships. So it's not now about winning championships. But if he can go back home to Cleveland and win a championship there, he will be immortalized. Unlike even Michael Jordan. Because why? To go back home and win in Cleveland. To help put them over the top. But why does Cleveland make sense beyond that? Because here's what, like I said, they can offer him percentage ownership in the team. If you want to become the first billionaire athlete, it makes no sense to accept another $125 million deal. You've already got a couple of those. You got it from Miami. Yeah, it just means you just make more money, but you're also paying more money to the government in taxes. So what's the best way to make the same type of money, if not more, and keep the tax man out of your pocket? Equity ownership. Equity ownership does as much to keep the tax man as much out of your pocket as possible, because you're taxed at a much lower rate, because you're not getting what is called earned income. You're getting what is called passive or portfolio income. So in this case, here you have, if you could go back to Cleveland, I would go up to Dan Gilbert and say, listen, I'll come to Cleveland under one condition. I want a 5 or 10% stake in the team. It would be in Dan Gilbert's best interest to accept such a deal. Because to me, that's really the way to go. And I would take a very low salary. I would take maybe a salary for the veterans minimum that I can, to make certain that we can continue to field a competitive team that can win a championship. Because he doesn't need the salary, the income. He doesn't need that. What he needs is the equity percentage. And the greater the percentage, the richer he'll get as the Cleveland stock increases in value. And this stock will immediately increase in value once he goes back to Cleveland. So it makes a lot of sense for him to go back home. There was also some talk of him also coming to the Knicks. That's not going to happen. I don't see him coming to the Knicks. I don't see him going to the Lakers. There's only 2 teams that I see him with after this upcoming NBA season. He's either going to go back home to Cleveland, or he's going to stay with the Miami Heat. I would not stay with the Heat for this reason, for 2 reasons. One, Dwayne Wade's health has really deteriorated the last few years. And I'm talking about physically, his knees or whatever other physical ailment, has really deteriorated the last couple of seasons, where you could tell Miami they're not exactly the powerhouse that they once was when he first signed there. Because Dwayne Wade's, the physical toll is catching up to Dwayne Wade. And there's going to come a day when Dwayne Wade retires, then if you're LeBron, what do you have around you? So that's one reason why I would not re-sign with the Heat if I am LeBron James. Unless I'm not going to Cleveland, then I would re-sign with the Heat. But short of that, I would not re-sign with the Heat. Why the Heat would be prohibitive favorites this year is because they signed a guy by the name of Greg Oden in the offseason. Now, if you understand, Greg Oden is a 7-foot center. He would provide the one thing that Miami's lacked since the Big Three went there, and that's legitimate size. He could offer shot blocking, and he could offer rebounding. So you would say, well, this is great. What's the problem? Well, here's the problem with Greg Oden. He's never been able to stay healthy. That's been the issue. Since he's been in the league, he's never been able to stay healthy. His knees, his foot, whatever it is, can't stay healthy. Which is really his knees. His knees is the problem. So here is a plan that I propose. Since Miami, which I thought was a smart signing in the offseason by Miami. You say, well, then why sign him? Here's why. To help you in the postseason. To go up against the Roy Hibberts of the world, the Tim Duncans, or the Tyson Chandlers of the world. You'll have some legitimate size. But I think Miami will be making a mistake to be playing him much of the preseason. Of the regular season. I would not do that. I would actually shelve him until about a month before the postseason. Make sure he stays in physical condition now, because you don't want him out of shape. And about a month and a half before the postseason, roll them out. And hope that you can get just a couple of months, because that's all you really need. You really just need him for a couple of months. You don't need him for the entire season. Miami is good enough to get a 1, 2, or a 2 seed, 3 seed at the worst, an entire season. They do not need Greg Oden in the regular season. They need him for the postseason. Because teams are catching up to the Heat. Teams don't fear the Heat like the way they used to. Everybody wants to beat the Heat. And so if you're going to win, you got to be smart in the way you go about it here, if you're Pat Riley and company. I would not be rolling out Greg Oden in the regular season. Now, they've already rolled him out in a game in the preseason. I just wouldn't do it. I wouldn't take the chance. I would not take the chance because you need that big body for the postseason. This move was made for the postseason. Forget the preseason, forget the regular season, most of the regular season. You don't need them. LeBron and Wade and Bosh can carry the torch for 3/4 of the regular season. Now, I want to thank you for watching another episode of the Jermaine Brown Sports Talk Show, and I hope to see you again in the future. Thank you.